Good morning, everyone. Hello. It is 4 something a.m. and I feel so good, boys and girls. Not perfect, good. I just got out of the bathtub. I think I went into the bathroom about 3 a.m. I had to first take care of my face, and now I'm going to take care of my lips that I possibly dehydrated with all that water. Ah! But I have the window open. I don't know what that sound is, but it is what it is. Uh, I'm gonna tell you something. Let me capture you for first because I have a way of not. I'm gonna tell you why I chose this this lip balm, and I'm going to tell you why I'm throwing Gemtessa in the garbage. Gemtessa, the overactive bladder medication. But this channel is for me, which means if you're here for me, then you're going to watch the video. I don't have a timestamp. I don't have anything. I do not rush my life. This process I'm going through is healing for me. And I don't want you to do anything that I'm doing because what I'm doing is for me. That's it. So I had been watching something for a while, and there's a lip balm called Chap It. Now, I don't know if it's a national brand or not. I know I have been using it for quite some time, but I need a drink of some form of liquid. Mm, mm. So, yesterday, I went and sat in the car and I put some Chap It on my lips. I noticed how my lips feel. So I said, okay, this is it. That's garbage now. No longer going to have that. Now, I went to Timu. And the reason why I'm going to say Timu is because I purchased it from Timu. I used what I had that we all have, choices and options. I do for me, you do for you. And we all live in this big bad world together. And I love you, and hopefully you still love me. And one of the things I had to do was take notice of how I have been feeling and let that do some of the moving and shaking that I'm working on. So this here is what I have grown to love on my lips. So I'm going to open up another one and I'm going to make myself happy. Yep. So, so now the Chap It is in the garbage. I'm going to put one on each of my desks, one by the kitchen, one in the bathroom, and one on my computer desk. So I don't have to be running around looking for one every time I need my lips to feel a certain type of way. What I had grown to understand is the feeling I was looking for was in this. I just didn't realize it. So now I understand, and I have to tick my own boxes. So I have a box of them, and I also have a few greeting cards that I put a chat, whatever in it, and so there goes that. So I just learned one product that I like for myself. So what I am going to do at some point, make a checklist of things that I have put some stock in to understand. A few days ago, I had a very horrible situation. I ended up in the emergency room. And while I was there, I was asked a few questions. One of the main issues you may have noticed that I was suffering with was respiratory. It never crossed my mind, but it's right in my YouTube videos. That's why I'm thankful that one of my medical providers keeps telling me, do not give up my channel. Do not give up my channel. So if you have watched my videos long enough, you will know I was suffering with respiratory issues. So I started praying for just stillness. Time to stop, look, and listen. So without me, hold on a minute. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. sorry, boys and girls. Ugh. Without me going too far, I'm going to eat some of my pumpkin seeds. So without no, without understanding what I was dealing with or what was against me, I knew I had to answer some questions. And the reason why I started answering some questions is because, no, I can't listen to that. I have no idea what I was saying, but that noise got to me. One of the things I had to start doing for myself is realizing that I had to answer some questions. And the only person who could answer those questions was me, because I know how I feel better than anyone else can tell me how I feel. I am not a medical provider. I don't have any license in the medical field. I do have a license in Shay. That's it. In me, I know me. So what I had to do was ask and answer some questions. Anything you do in life, you have to ask yourself and you have to answer yourself. You owe you. That's it. So I owe me. So I had to do the work. Uh, mm, I had to ask myself, how can I help my bladder without a prescription? That's it. And it's pumpkin seeds. So at a time, I used to buy oil of pumpkin seed or oil of pumpkin seed, whatever the case may be. All it is Gemtessa in a bottle. That's all it is. But I started to notice that the price got to the point where it was no longer beneficial, because if I'm living on Social Security, I automatically live on a certain amount of money. If I am trying to build some type of side business or whatever that's going to give me a little bit of living outside of that Social Security check that leaves me what I have now is 54 cents in my checking account, I cannot afford to outsource all of these bottles to do all of this and still say I need to be able to have something just in case I want to take a taxi somewhere. So I stopped going to CVS because I realized that CVS was just profit and that's it. So again, I had to do for me. I had to work on what I had to work on for me. But within the last few days when I got unwell, I was asked a few questions. And every last question led me to one specific thing. And that was Gemtessa. That was Gemtessa. So without realizing it, when I had a small conversation with someone, and I kid you not, it was a conversation in kindness, because guess what? It had a story behind it. And what captures us most in life? Stories. Stories. It doesn't matter if it's a good story, if we like drama, if it's a romantic story, if we like that type of story, or comedy. What captured me was the story. And from that moment, I had no idea, but I did not take Gemtessa anymore. Now, what you're going to see me do here is going to be like, oh my goodness, I'm going to drop Gemtessa in the garbage. Absolutely. Because there is no way in hell I'm going to take Gemtessa again. I came home and something said, I'm not taking that. So I didn't take it. And I didn't take it again. And I didn't take it again. So what did I do? I took a few pumpkin seeds throughout the day. So there goes me at 4 something a.m. taking out another pumpkin seed. At some point, I'm going to eat a few shells because I needed a few of the shells. What's in the shell is beneficial as well. So for right now, I'm only going to eat those two. But this is my jar of pumpkin seeds. And I just put and that's what I do, keep my cabinet. So now, I don't know when I ended up in the emergency room, but I believe it was like 4 days ago. No Gemtessa. And what I have noticed is that struggle to inhale is gone. Now, I did mention I'm not a medical provider, and I did mention that I don't have any certificates in the medical field. I do have a certificate in Shay. That's it. So I was in here noticing yesterday, I stood at that stove and I cooked myself about three different meals. Not three different meals, I cooked my pork shoulder for myself three different times. I didn't fall on the stove. I did get tired. I did get a certain type of way because I do have fibromyalgia. I do have mental health illness, so I did get to the point where my head wasn't feeling a certain type of way. But respiratory, I did not. So I had to stop and I had to hold myself accountable for how I feel. And then I had to say to myself, you know what? I can't keep going to the hospital telling them I have this side effect or this recourse, and they're not saying, okay, well, we someone prescribes you this, maybe you need a few days off of this. I can't do that, and I don't want to be in a situation where I'm constantly going back and back because once an employee of the medical field told me that if you go to the emergency room within 30 days for the same symptom twice, the insurance company only pays them for the first visit, not the second. So now I'm saying to myself, okay, Shay, what are we going to do? We're going to ask ourselves a question, and then we're going to find the answer because the answer is in the solution. And my agenda for me at this moment is healing. So healing for me is finding the answer to this to the problem. So it's a solution. So the solution for me right now is I am off of bladder support medicine. That's it. That's it. Nothing needs to be said. One of the blessings that happened to me was moving here. When I transferred my medical provider from there to here, this one asked me a question about do I want a procedure? And I said no, because I didn't want to go under the knife. He stopped immediately. There was nothing else he wanted to say, and he was answering questions and I did everything. And then when I thought about it yesterday, I said, oh my goodness, he wasn't giving me a band-aid. He was giving me a solution. So now I have to go back and ask him about the procedure. And if it's possible, I want the procedure. And I also noticed it's about maybe 3 months and my prescription for Gemtessa did not arrive. So one of the reasons why I was slowing down on it was to save it so that when I'm driving long term, I could have access to. Sorry, I have to listen at some point, and the answer to the problem is already done. I was going to backpedal and I was just intervened. So that whole situation is done. I already made a decision and it's done. So whatever I was going to say, I don't have any reason to say. I have to stop sometimes when I'm in being intervened and I have to listen, and I did. So Gemtessa is gone. My medical provider did not refill that prescription, but yesterday I got a call for my medical supplies that I ride with in my vehicle, and that's my bladder support pads and things. The doctor asked me, was I comfortable refilling that prescription? And I said yes. So I have a shipment of bladder support items coming, and it's going to be in the backseat of my vehicle. That is one of the reasons why I learned a long time ago. I didn't know it was one of the reasons, but I learned recently that that is probably one of the reasons why I don't like to ride with anyone in my vehicle, because there are times I have to change myself. Now, the blessing is I'm not embarrassed about anything I have to deal with in my life. I was born with an overactive bladder. I just didn't know it. When I finally took myself to the doctor and told the doctor how I feel, walking out my door knowing that I could be dripping when, when I leave. And then a friend of mine, I don't even know how to thank her. She said to me, she drives and she wears protection while she's driving. I'm like, what? And then just recently, someone said to me, they needed some bladders. I'm like, and I didn't go into a conversation. I didn't need to ask questions. The fact that it was said to me was enough. It was awareness that this is an issue that we all have to deal with at some point in time. Now, I do have a person that I know of well into their upper whatever, and I have never heard them mention any issues of this kind. So it is a blessing. We all have to tick our own boxes. So Gemtessa is no longer in my life. Another thing I had to do, and my lips feel amazing, boys and girls. Another thing I had to do, I had to realize that I sometimes go to the treadmill, sometimes go to the elliptical, and I struggle to lift weights. 5 pound weights are a struggle for me. So when I got out of the bathtub this morning and I put on my pajamas, yes, my pajamas, and I'm dressed for the day, I did my squat and I did whatever I could do, and I stop when I know the word stop is there. I am so blessed that I'm understanding now that stop means stop the first time I hear it. Because I always taught my daughter, stop means stop the first time you hear it. That's it. And if we can get other people to understand in all capacities that stop means stop, that's it. And that's probably why another one of my problems, not a problem, but one of my questions was answered. Because there is a man around me that I absolutely adore, but I don't want any man's hands on me. And when I say hands on me, I mean intimately. So when I say anything, those words mean stop. And this is all I see. Step back and hands up. So I never realized what that means to me. It just means respect. That's it. That's it. So I'm learning myself through healing myself. Yesterday I did about 3 videos, and let me tell you what happened yesterday. The Wi-Fi was off predominantly all of yesterday. So I was reading my book. This is the book I'm reading. I went to the bookstore and bought this book. I'm loving living in a bookstore, boys and girls, because guess what? I am not going to be part of the problem. I'm going to be part of the solution. I want something for myself. I'm going to go get it. That's it. I don't care how hard life gets for me. If I cannot bestow myself the kindness to hand someone whatever amount I need to give myself what this book is giving me, I don't love myself. And that's it. I may want this book. You may want a candy bar. Whatever you choose to do is your business. I don't care, to be honest. I care about me. I never was able to read a book without a migraine. So this book, I have to read from the beginning to all over. Why? Because I can't remember. But yesterday, I lay down in my bed and I enjoyed a few laughs in this book, because it is not about it being a comedy. It's about it being true. And that's it. Sometimes the truth hits where it needs to be hit, but it hits in a way that is comfortable. So I'm going to take some time. My TV is on, by the way. I got TV sometime after 3 this morning, and I'm watching a very good show. If you understood what life can do for you. The show I'm watching is Notorious. That's the name of the show. But if you watch the show, watch it until you finish the series. I plan on watching it 3 times. Every series I watch, I have to watch at least 3 times, because I learned something a long time ago. You can see it one time and you miss something. So I learned for myself, I need to see a series at least 3 times for me to see the whole series. And I have some questions that need to be answered. That's going to be answered in the second watch of the series. So there goes that. So now I did accomplish a few things so far this morning. No breakfast has been put on the table. I'm going to finish this lemonade, and I'm going to have to try to sit down and figure out how I'm going to give up this flavored water when the flavored water is completely done. I have a surplus in the closet and a surplus on the counter. I don't know if I want to replace it, because I'm enjoying the fresh taste of plain water in a way that I never thought I would, because I never liked water. But the changes that I made in my eating is helping me in my drinking. So Yesterday, I think I drank about 3 bottles of water. But I don't want to drink 3 bottles of water. I want to be able to fill up a container in my refrigerator from my faucet and have fresh water poured over ice. So that's what I want. Another thing that I made a change of, I am drinking out of my glasses more and not out of the tumbler. I don't want the tumbler in the house. I want the tumbler outside the house. And it will give me a process in my life that I need to go into. So I need to do work on that. I did buy something recently. I'm going to show you what I bought. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Uh-oh, here you go. Now, I had the pleasure in this community. I have to turn this camera right there. I had the pleasure of meeting someone who's just like me. I kid you not. It is so funny because half the time when I'm around him, I'm just listening because he sounds just like me. But he mentioned something about this cup, and I purchased 2 cups, one for him, one for me. And the only thing I said, if this is not what you're talking about, I want it back so I can return it and get my money back. But when I gave it to him, the praise and the joy that he felt was amazing. You hear me? So now I'm going to tell you, if you happen to have this cup, put a cup of water in your refrigerator for about an hour. Sit it in your refrigerator for about an hour and then drink it. That's it. Whatever you feel, you feel. So now I didn't think about it because I washed my cup. So I'm going to turn around now and pour my lemonade into this cup. And I'm going to put it in my refrigerator for about an hour. And then I'm going to drink it. But I'm not going to drink it all at once. I'm going to sip, sip, sip. So when I did that, and one of the things that I absolutely adore is the fact that this person, like I said, sounds just like me. And I don't have an ounce of feeling like, oh my gosh, he's just saying, he's not making it. None of that, because he is teaching me through what he's not able to say. I'm grabbing hold of what I can, and that's it. But I kid you not, one of the problems I'm having is that my hand is hurting. And I started to notice that the pain I'm feeling, I feel more when the air conditioner is on. So if you take notice, this hand is behaving a certain way. That's my fibromyalgia, and that's this air conditioner. So I've been watching that. I have to watch that, and yep, it's definitely what I thought it was. My fibromyalgia is worse when the air is on, because the pain that is going through my hand now, that air conditioner, I have been walking barefoot. When I say barefoot, not even a sock is on my foot. Let me see. Can you see? And I'm going to have to put a sock on now. But I can't keep the air off but so long because the humidity gets inside and it's too much for me to bear, because then I can't stay awake. Yes, your girl be in here. Drop, drop, see, drop, drop, tree. Woo! And I want to stay up a little while longer and do a few things. So there goes that. But I am so thankful. And I realized something else. I will never earn a paycheck from YouTube. And I don't actually care at this point, because what I see people have to do to chase that almighty dollar, I think is painful, but not just painful to your body if you have health conditions like fibromyalgia, which is also triggered by stress, or arthritis, or any of those type of things. It is detrimental to other aspects of your life you may not realize. So if you like YouTube for whatever you like it for, conversation, it may be your therapy, it may be whatever, use YouTube for that. If you need YouTube for a paycheck, make sure you have your basket filled in other areas as well. That's it. Oh, Mm. I hope and pray nothing happens to the water system, because I kid you not, I am watching a lot of videos on Great Value. I'm watching a lot of videos on Walmart, why this, and this, and I kid you not, I don't want to comment on any of them, because I'm doing one thing only. I'm sitting in the seat of everybody. I am a consumer first, a consumer first. But this water is amazing, boys and girls. I don't drink a lot of bottled water. This water is delicious, delicious. And I'm not tooting the horn of Great Value. And no, I don't have any stocks. I'm not one of those people that get nickels and dimes if you purchase. None of that. I'm sitting here a consumer, and this water is amazing. I have had water that costs about $5 a bottle, and I really wanted to go back to the register and say, "Why did you just rob me?" It's really, really, really why I want to ask. Mm, mm. I saw someone yesterday make a comment that she doesn't want to watch YouTube videos that have subscriptions and that type of thing. And I realized something with myself. Some people can't eat without a subscription. How much of a sponge do you really want to be in someone's life where you're just taking everything that they have and you don't feel you want to contribute to anything? Everybody has to eat. Now, I'm not saying this person was wrong. Everybody has rights. But I feel the same way in a certain thing. Now I do notice another thing. At some point my nose starts itching and it won't stop. So I'm monitoring something at this moment. So you have to be aware of that. I'm aware that I'm wiping my nose, but my nose is starting to itch. So I stopped and I had to ask myself. Now I know everybody's trying to eat. So I'm happy for something that I recently did. I connected myself to a subscription, and I'm going to use the subscription not for the product, but for what the product is going to get me when I need to hustle and grind. So I'm going to stay with the program, allow this person to gain their $10.81 from me every single month. But I'm going to contact the person and ask them, just say if I was going to resell something, could I add your product to the resale thing? And if they said no, then I'm going to unsubscribe, and that's it. And the reason why I have to do that is because I had to look at myself and what I've been trying to do for a number of years, like, my cards or whatever the case may be. But I am happy to say that I listed my first little card yesterday on eBay. This card right here, and I'm going to leave this card on eBay forever if I have to. Today, I'm going to sit down and make a basic card. I already saw the vision, and I'm going to put it on eBay. I'm going to have about 10 cards on eBay, and I'm just going to leave them there, and that's it. And then I'm going to think about where I'm going to put my ebook at, because I have to supply myself with something at some point. I don't really want to do much right now outside of heal myself, and healing is a blessing, because when I got in the bathtub this morning, first of all, let me tell you something. I have been doing a lot of changing. So I'm watching a lot of videos because I love to learn. And what I'm grabbing hold to now is Japanese videos, Japanese healthcare, Japanese home care, how they treat their home and the things they eat with and stuff like that. So I always love China. I don't know why, but the difference of lifestyle and culture is what I like, because when you walk into a Chinese home, and I know I may be saying the word wrong, so I'm gonna try to teach myself to just say Asian, to allow me to learn to speak a little better, which I'm working on, because I'm also taking some classes on YouTube. The first thing you have to do is remove your shoes. They have this thing at the step. It's like one step, and all shoes go there. I've always had that lifestyle because I grew up with a West Indian heritage. So, and I'm thankful for it in ways you have no idea. You have no idea what it is to walk around your home barefoot, knowing that you don't have feces all over the place. So if that is offensive to you, then I am sorry. But everyone has to understand, If you don't protect your health, then your wealth is for what? To outsource someone else's lifestyle. And that's it. I'm not against anyone. I'm for everyone. My community is for everyone. And that's it. So I learned that I always loved my body being clean. But now I notice that fragrance, perfume, and all the lotions and all of that is offensive in certain areas because it's an intrusion to your nervous system. And I noticed that that is something that I have always been aware of. There are different people that I can come in contact with, and their scent makes me feel a certain type of way. And I was walking yesterday from wherever, and before I reached this man, I kid you not, I could smell him. And I was like, oh no, he did not. This man smelled like, come and get me, come and get me. That's all he smelled like. Come and get me. So he was standing at the bus stop looking nice and delicious. So he had the ear things in, and I said, excuse me. And he said, yes. I said, good morning. He said, good morning. I said, I just want you to know that I smelled your pass by air down there, and thank you. He said, you're welcome. And I'm like, see, that is what I like. I love when someone's pass by air is welcoming. But if I was in a closed space, it wouldn't be too welcoming. So I'm learning for myself. I don't want to come out of the shower and throw fragrance on with lotion and then with spray and in my underarm. And in transition from going from fragrance, now there are fragranced items in my bathroom. I have an abundance of hand soap, which is turning into my body wash. So I do have scent. But what I'm working on now is using what I have and then removing as much scent as possible. Not saying I'm going completely away from scent, but I have to do what works for me. But what I noticed this morning is that when I woke up, the first scent I smelt was unpleasant body odor. And it was my arms were a little musty. Why? Because first of all, I slept without the air conditioner. I cannot imagine having unlimited access to air conditioning. And what I actually want is an unlimited amount of nature. I can't believe it, but I have arrived. So I want one thing, if anything I have control over at night, I want to sleep without the air conditioner. So I woke up and I smelt a little bit of my underarm. So I didn't need to say, okay, well, I'm going to take a bath later. No, God provides. And that's it. So I put my feet on the floor and I went to the bathroom and I put my video on and I started to exercise my face, brush my teeth and everything, and then I got into the shower. When I was in the shower, I was just loving up on myself because I love access to water. When I was not able to take a bath, when I was not able to take a shower, it hit me in such a way that I felt like I was being refused. I was refusing myself, which I had no control over at the time. And now I have been provided the best tub in the world. Why would I not use every access I have to bathe when I know my body needs it? But one of the things I'm noticing is that now that I'm not covered in so much fragrance, the alert to myself is the beauty because I smell myself first. And I'm grateful. I took a 15-minute shower and then I fill the tub and I get in the tub. The difference between the shower is not as hot as it used to be, but the tub is a little on a hotter side. I fill it up and then I get in the tub. There's no soap in the tub. There's just the water in the tub. But what I also notice is that when I'm laying on my back and my head is on the bottom of the tub, I'm able to move, to do one exercise under the water that I wish I could do on the floor. But the water is helping me the same way it did when I was in physical therapy. So I am thankful for access to my bathtub. And I was in my own little what? my she cave when I was in the tub. So it allows me to do that. I do not know if I will ever want to use my perfume again. It is my favorite perfume in the world. I purchased that one and that one. But I kid you not, I said to myself yesterday, while I had no Wi-Fi, trying to make my day, and I just had the best day ever. No one rang my phone yesterday. My phone didn't ring one time. I like phone calls. I like being a part of the community. But there are times when you just want some me time. So I did make 3 phone calls yesterday. And when I got the situation I needed done, I ended the call. So today I'm going to take off my bedding and wash my bedding, including my pillowcase. Miranda got her bath yesterday and her change of clothes, so that's going into the sink to wash by hand and hang up. I don't want her item in the dryer. And then I'm going to walk around here and pick up some of my fragrant items and maybe put it on a marketplace for best offer and see who wants to take it, because I think it's time to start getting some of these things out. I don't want them here just for in case and maybe. Now, my craft supplies in case and maybe, absolutely, absolutely. But a fragrance item that I may not have used since last month, I don't think so. I think I can safely say. I also noticed that in here that there was a scent, but I put vinegar inside of a little cup and put it over there. So now I notice that that scent is gone. So what I'm trying to fill my space with is vinegar, baking soda, things like that that will give me that I need, rather than things that will coat my natural scent. I don't want to smell musty anywhere, but I don't want to throw fragrance on me knowing that it's an intrusion of me if I'm dealing with anything. So my headaches are gone. I don't know the last time you heard me say I had a headache, so I'm monitoring. But I'm going to tell you something. There is something called Moda or Boda or something. I don't know what's in it, but I do believe I smelt 2 females with it on them. And I'm going to tell you, the craze is very popular. It's very everything, and I'm rocking for them. I watched the video of the people. I don't know if it's those 2 young ladies that made it or whatever the case may be. But what I am going to say, for me, I wouldn't want that. I would want a natural, whatever. I'm not saying it's not natural. It's positive in every which way, and I'm glad for it. But what I see in infomercials or whatever I'm starting to see, I don't like. So I have been using the 3 little dots on the right to say not interested. Because if a man walks into my home and he has a scent on him that makes him so irresistible that I just want to eat his neck, I'm losing myself. And I don't want that, because I had the man I love in the world, the most in the world, here a few weeks ago, and he smelled so good. But I still knew one thing, and that's what I ask God for when I get in that shower. Make sure my hands don't touch nobody. And I mean it, because in this moment of life, I want to stay focused on one thing, and that is myself. So if I have to charge up my 2 boyfriends, and they're not shaped in boyfriends, they're shaped in flowers. If I have to charge up, matter of fact, I'm looking for the red one. Did somebody come in here and take Rosie? But I don't want that. I have to tick my own boxes. But I noticed that the smell was invigorating when they were around me. So what I did was I took a few steps back. We're going to clear this airspace, honey, because you're not going to get up here in Garbleville Lane and make me feel like I need to jump in there. No. So I'm thankful. But whatever this is, I was tempted to get a bottle to see if I can smell it on me. But I don't want that around. I don't want that around me. I noticed that. Just like in my refrigerator, there's a product someone purchased and left here. Woo! This right here. Now, I have nothing negative to say about this. I haven't even tasted it. Mary Roofs. I've never tasted this. I'm never gonna lie. I never. Now I'm gonna open it for the first time and smell it. It smells like a vitamin with a candy bar in it. Now, I did a lot of research on this. So I will never take this. Never take this. I did a lot of research on this. I will never take this. What I can put on my stove with a pack of Purdue chicken can possibly maximize what I can get in this bottle. So nothing negative about this. Personally, I wouldn't do it. What I would want from this, I can 9 times out of 10 get on my own stove. So I need to use resources that I have to fundamentally give me what this bottle. But when I look at the infomercials, I'm like, wow, it is amazing what people will buy and say they can't afford the other things that are detrimental to our existence. I'm doing everything I can, boys and girls, to one day be able to move somewhere and never have to wonder if I can afford my shelter. That's a goal of mine that I'm never going to give up. But right now, I have to be very careful about some of the things I say because I can't afford to pay my own rent. But there is no way in God's creation you're going to get me to say, which is the truth, that I can't pay my own rent, but I can afford this. Absolutely not. Now, I just used a firm to get me a basically $1,500 washing machine. I will kick my own ass to pay off that washing machine because that is a necessity. My everything goes in that washing machine. So if someone was to say I don't need my washing machine, they're clearly not living on the same surface of soil that I'm trying to live on, and that's it. But all the rest of the bells and whistles, no, I can't do that. I can't actually outsource these type of things and say I need help with my rent. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Just like I used to feel like I'm one checkbox away from hitting the street. I don't feel that way anymore. I don't. I don't feel that way anymore. That feeling has gone, and I'm thankful for it. I am doing everything in my power to make sure that kindness stays in my heart and I live a little bit closer to what I feel is a beautiful existence, and that is Denzel Washington. I kid you not, I have had many moments I could have walked right up on the man, but I won't be able to do that because I love this man for his soul, because there are some things that he has said out of his mouth, but there is not one man I can honestly say that have spoken on a TV format that I can actually say I believe what they say. There are two people in this world that I hold high regard for that I will never meet. And Denzel Washington is not one of the people I cannot possibly meet. I can go somewhere and see Denzel Washington, but I wouldn't want to. Whatever I feel for him sitting in this kitchen is how I want to feel when he is no longer here, because he has put a stamp on his existence that you can't find anywhere else. I am never going to put a man on a pedestal ever again, because a man is a man, but a man with a moral compass, that is my man. That's it. I just say all the time when I see him is I love his wife. And I don't even know if she would, I can't even say I've ever seen her on anything. She could stand next to me and I wouldn't know who she is. But I love whoever it is that loves him, because he is a gem. He is a gem. I realized this morning that someone is going to be in my presence in a few weeks, days, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to ask one simple question. One simple question that Denzel Washington has already answered. And I'm not going to listen for his actual answer. I'm going to listen for how long it takes him to come up with the answer. That's it. Denzel has ticked a lot of boxes, but his moral compass, and to know that I spent 7 years of my life with a man that reminds me of Denzel, is beautiful because this man really, really, really never realized how much of me he had until he lost me. But he still has me because I told him we'll be friends forever. But I loved Denzel Washington, but I would never want to meet him. I kid you not. I was down the block one day and he was up the block, and I said, "Oh my God, I want to see him so bad." And my body was like, "Oh, I already went into the moments, into the everything," but I knew I couldn't because I don't want to see someone that I feel a certain way about, and then anything happen, and I'm like, you just do that. Just imagine. I'm just going out there, just speaking into anything. Just imagine if I was to stand in the presence of someone that I feel so much about, like him, and then he would just and spit on the side of the road. That would be it for me. That he would be like, the bottom of my shoe if I was on the side of the road. It is disgusting to walk down the street and see someone's mouth expect on the ground. It is disgusting. So I would be like, ew, turned off. No different if you was to walk in here with a banana. If you walk in my home with a banana, you might as well walk in here with a loaded gun. That's a weapon to me. So it is crazy. But if you don't believe me, ask my mom. Ask my mom. If you want to kill me, walk into my home with a banana. But if you want to see me close to handcuffs, willingly walking in here with a banana, knowing what I feel about bananas, you asked for what you got. So I stay by myself to protect myself because people say, "How do you stay by yourself, honey?" When you are a Libra and your mind is calculated sometimes and you have to fight against what your mind is, because I kid you not, if someone really could understand the process a person goes through having bipolar disorder, trying to be a decent person in society, fitting in against the normals of what people say, and then being a Libra, knowing they're so observant, and then being empathic, you're like, what is she? A ticking time bomb. But one thing I am not is of any for prison. Nobody like me belongs in prison. I don't believe anybody belongs in prison. I'm going to tell you just plain and simple. If I was a certain person and I did not fit community, I think the best thing you can give me is lethal injection. And I'm speaking from myself only. I don't think that you could correct anything in me by putting me in a cage with a woman. There is no way. If I had to sleep in a cell, one woman there and I'm on the bottom or around me, you didn't correct any behavior in me. You didn't put me anywhere to teach me anything. You taught me how to survive mentally with what's going on in my head. Now, I have no qualms. This has nothing to do with same-sex anything because nobody has any issues when it comes to that. You can do whatever you want to do. What you do in the nighttime hours may be different from me, but we all deserve to live in this world together in love. So I have no qualms about that. I just know for me, if I had to share the space of someone that had to pass gas a few times a day, knowing I have IBS, you're asking me to deal with something that I can't deal with, and that is somebody's pass by air. If I had to go into the bathroom and I see meatballs just around, and then that's not my cup of tea. So I like privacy. I like getting in my bathtub, wash up, scrub up, play, tug, talk, whatever. That's a private moment for me. But if I had to get in there with whatever, wait, you better get off my what? I'm getting tired of this daggone TV, boys and girls. I had it on pause. And next thing I see Mr. Sexy on the screen, just moving around. Honey, I did. When that man is on the screen, I want to be in full attention. So I had to pause it, and I'm a flashback, whatever you call that, rewind, rewind, honey. I love watching TV with good-looking men on it. But anyway, I just don't think reducing me to savage lifestyle is going to correct my behavior. You're going to first teach me how to survive. That's it. And 9 times out of 10, a crime is in that survival. So you can't put me in there. That's why I have to stay alone, because when people test my patience, you can't take away anything from a Libra. You can't do that no matter what you want. So you may have a really good spirit, whatever the case may be. You need to be correct when you're dealing with a Libra, because a Libra has 5 minutes of time you may not have, and they have very little control about what goes on in here. Now you want to push a Libra to the point where they have to do this, and this. Oh well, I love being a Libra. And I hate being a Libra, because right now somebody is playing in the sandbox around me. And every single day I pray the same prayer. I want whatever to happen to the person they love the most in the world. Absolutely, because they are dancing on my kindness. And I was in the bathroom today, doing my facial and taking care of myself. And I said one thing: why are you allowing this person to do what you see they are doing? And then when I answered the question to myself, I turned around and gave myself back to power, because I am going to whip that ass real good. And this time, there's going to be nothing that anyone can say, because intentionally misusing someone's kindness is very painful when the person realizes what you are doing to them. But always ask yourself, why do you allow them to do it? And if you can take a step back and realize that there is something you're gaining and you need what you're gaining, then you get what you're getting and you let them get what they're getting. But honey, if somebody is playing in your face and they think you can't see it, stop giving yourself a pity party. Don't play in a sandbox giving yourself a pity party, honey. There are other measures you can do that are legal, that will just make your voice heard, and that's it. So there's no arguments, there is no confrontation, there's nothing. It's just gonna be kindness all the way. But I am working on something that's going to make someone realize where they went wrong. I may never tell another living soul, but when they see what's going to be splattered in front of them, the only thing they're going to say is, and there are going to be no words. You can't say sorry. You can't ask for, you can't do any of that. So I just wish sometimes I was not a Libra, because the 5 minutes that a Libra gets, that you get, you may say, okay, let me get a sip of beer. No, a Libra is sitting down looking at you like, okay, when are you going to find out what I've been seeing for the last whatever? Woo! Lord have mercy. Please don't let nobody. That's why I like them in this apartment. See, there's nobody over here. That door is closed and the person is on the other wall. This wall, nobody's here. That's the laundry room. So at nighttime when I'm up, it's me right here. I can laugh. I'm so thankful. I hope and pray that apartment that I was going to take, I hope I have time to make sure I'm not going to get it, because I honestly don't want anyone above me. So I may have access to larger, more beautiful or whatever. None of that's going to take my boxes. I don't want anyone living above me. That's it, because it is amazing the disregard that a family with children would have, knowing that people live downstairs them. And that disregard, I don't care what anyone says, it needs a special type of treatment, and I'm not for violence. But when you can let your child run and jump above someone else's head and you feel like that's your child has entitlements, you're building a problem that they're going to feel entitled to when it's time for them to walk on your head. So we all have to stay together. But I'm going to say goodbye and put my TV on, and I want to find a meal of some sort. Most likely it's going to be some eggs and some peppers and things like that, but I have to take care of myself. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.